are definitely.
You excited?
I'm so excited, actually. I'm really excited to be doing the Computer Love podcast.
Computer Love podcast. Welcome, everybody,
Wow.
to the introductory episode. In this episode, you're going to get a lot of stuff to take away with you. What are they going to get this episode?
Man, I'm so excited. So they're really going to learn why we're doing this, why we're doing the podcast.
Okay. That's important to know.
It's very important.
Okay.
So I'm really excited for them to gain knowledge of why we're doing this podcast, what they can expect from the podcast, and how did we even get to this point that we're going to do a podcast together. Right. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be informational, and just giving them information on how to join us, how to join the party, because I think it's going to definitely be a good time along the way, along the journey.
I agree. I'm having fun.
I'm definitely having a good time. So, I mean, how did we come up with this podcast?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I mean, this is my recollection of how we came up with the podcast. We were on our first date, very first date. Very first time meeting you, we were having sushi, and I don't know how the topic came up, but we were talking about like business, and I know you're like a big time entrepreneur, you're like a local celebrity, you got like, you know, everybody in Charleston knows your name, you know. And so we were just talking about like your business, your business ventures, and somehow podcasting came up, and I was like, you know, that'd be kind of a cool idea to do a podcast documenting, you know, a couple's online dating journey. You know, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, that's dope. And it was like, all right, well, let's do it now. Let's get started. Obviously, we didn't get started that quick. You know? But
you definitely had that kind of energy, though. You were definitely like, let's do this. Yeah. And so you're right. It definitely was our first date. Yeah. First date. And I remember we were talking about like business. And then we were also talking about like podcasts. And I was like, yeah, you know, I've been wanting to do a podcast. And you were like, me too. We should definitely do. And I'm like, okay, wait. I ain't really know about that.
Pump your brakes.
Right, you know. But it did spark something in me, because I definitely, like, my college roommate and I had a conversation prior to you and I, like, going on our first date and stuff, and talking about opening up to being like a dating coach.
Oh, really? How much prior?
Like 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Like, like legit.
So this was like already spoken into the universe.
Right. And so I was like, wait a minute. So of course, like, I called her, like, you know, I called her, whatever. But so that is like how the idea came. I definitely credit the idea to you, for sure. Okay. And then the name.
That's big, y'all.
For real. That was all you. That was all you, baby. So then the name.
The name. Yes. You are a creative person, indeed, for sure. You know, I thought that I was creative, but you got some creative talents. She came up with the name.
I did that, y'all. So how did
I think it was like after 2 tries.
Yeah.
2 tries. He came up with that name.
Right. So I remember when I knew you were serious about doing the podcast.
How'd you know I was serious?
You were like you were texting me about it, and so I was like, oh, he's like really serious. Because I think I was
texting you names?
No, you were texting me like just things about the podcast. Okay. And so I then sent you a text, and I was like, okay, so, you know, what would be the purpose? What would be the platform? Like, I sent you a list of questions, and you were like, dope, great questions. I'll send my answers. Right? And so I'm like, oh, he's like serious. He's for real. And so like you sent, you know, those questions, like the answers. And then like 2 nights later.
Hey, babe, real quick. When you get really high pitched, just make sure that you're not too close to the microphone, right? We don't want to hurt people's ears out there in the world. So when you see the big old spike, that means you're too loud. Back up from the microphone.
Okay, so you're going to edit that part, right?
No, we're good. We're good. Keep it rolling.
You are. So, y'all going to learn a lot about us, okay?
Keep it rolling. Go ahead.
So I went to sleep like 2 nights later or something, and I was waking like 4 o'clock in the morning. And whenever like I'm like out of my sleep, I'm up, I know that it's something that I should be doing. And I know it's like God giving me, something. So it was 2 names. And the first one, I text you and I was like, I just thought of some names or whatever. And
did I give you any names at first?
You did.
What did I give you?
Like Happily Ever After, I think was one. Like it was some really good names. And so like I was like, okay.
A little presumptuous.
Right. It was like, okay. Right. So then I'm like, okay. So I send you the text and I was like, what about a couple of forevers? And I was like, emphasis on couple. He was like, okay, I like where you're going at with that. Yeah. And I'm like, and then the second one was Computer Love.
Computer Love.
And then you were like, that's it. Like, that's it right there. Yeah. And then I sent you, I was like, just in case we need a, little intro song. And then I sent you the song. He was like, of course. I was like,
of course. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
That's the first thing that I was thinking of. So I definitely say like, I was so excited about it because I was like, any reservations that I did have, went away. Because again,
the concept was dope.
The concept, coming like waking up out of my sleep because a lot of my ideas are given like out of my sleep, like my book name, everything is, so I felt really good about it. Yeah. And just from there on, it's been like, let's, just hitting the ground running. And I loved like the purpose and stuff. So let's kind of maybe roll into what's the purpose?
The purpose? I can go first on that one.
Okay.
I'm just sipping a little bit of red wine here. So excuse me if you hear me sipping. We got to get into a little mood.
Why are we doing it? Purpose, or why are you, doing it?
A lot of different reasons why doing it. I guess one reason is that it is an opportunity, and I feel strongly about seizing opportunities when they present themselves. Okay. A lot of times in life, you let opportunities pass you by. You think back like, man, I should have did something about that. I'm sure there's at least a handful of things that you're like, man, what if I would have done that? Just did it. So yeah, like you said, it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. It's a topic that I think I have a lot to offer on. And just, like our trailer said, over half of all people meet online nowadays. It's like, people born today, they're not really going to know what it's like to, be waiting by your phone to try to call a girl or try to get up the nerve to try to make a phone call to a female. Absolutely. And, those days where you actually had to, answer the phone and stuff. Now it's just a right swipe and you in there. Or
a DM,
right? But the thing is like a lot of times you don't value the relationships as much as you did when you really had to work hard for it. So with that being said, a lot of times your relationships don't last. A lot of like Tinder or whatever, they could be looked upon as like, a booty call site or whatever, just a hookup site. And there's a lot of that going on out there, but just to show that you can actually have a meaningful relationship with somebody that you meet online, whether that be Tinder, Facebook, or what have you, in whatever medium. But just to give inspiration, and hopefully we don't break up and fight. I don't have to, hurt you.
Right. You better know I got an army behind me, right?
That's right.
So, okay, so I really like your truthfulness and your honesty in that. But it's an opportunity. But I'm sure you've had the opportunity with someone else before. So, like, why me? Why would you want to do this podcast with me?
Well, as far as when you say you've had the opportunity with someone else before,
I'm not saying if they'll actually discuss it or not, but just in dating in general.
Well, first, it has to be with someone who is not just business savvy, but I guess business oriented, you know, because one of the biggest things about doing like podcasting or blogging or just any type of venture like that is consistency. And you seem like a very devoted and consistent person, and I feel like you would be there for the long haul on this one. Like, you're not gonna say next week, you know what, let's stop doing this, and then, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so I kind of had that security. And then, I mean, we can get into this like on later episodes, but just I think you're just a dope person, you know. You just there's something special about you. You're different. And like I said, we can go further into that. But yeah, you're a dope person. I can see this working with you for sure.
All right. So Miha, why am I doing this?
Why are you doing this? Asking me all these questions.
I'm telling you, because I need to know, because this was the furthest away from my mind in reference to doing this type of podcast.
What type of podcast were you thinking about doing?
If I was going to do a podcast, it was going to be highlighting different women and their, you know, their stories.
Like your book.
Like my book, exactly. So
she is a 2-time published author, y'all. Sitting next to greatness here.
Listen, I swear he's probably like my top supporters.
And she looked like Michelle Obama. I got me a little Michelle Obama. Woo! Yes, I'll
take that. I will take that as a compliment, because I love our forever first lady. But for me, I don't do anything or very little of anything that I do. I'm doing without purpose. So it has to have purpose attached to it, in it, and not saying that I knew automatically what the purpose in this was, but I definitely I referenced talking to my college roommate a couple weeks before meeting you. And in that, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do like the uncomfortable. I pretty much, for the most part.
Say that one more time. You were talking to your college roommate and you said you could do the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What, with this podcast?
No, just like in life in general.
When did you say that?
That when she and I had that conversation 2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks prior to. Yeah.
What were you referring to when you said that?
So she and I were talking about relationships. We were talking about just life in general. And I was like, you know what? Like, I take risks. But I don't really like moving out of my, like, because I'm not too much makes me uncomfortable. And so I said the things that do make me uncomfortable, that I would.
That don't make you
uncomfortable. What is going on here?
That don't make you uncomfortable.
I'm like, I'm going to.
For all those just listen, I just took my finger in her ear.
Yeah, I was like,
and
so.
She was looking at me like.
But my AirPod is also in my ear, so I thought you were trying to take it out. I was like, is it showing or something? But I was going to do something even if it was uncomfortable. Okay. And in that, I knew that this would very much so be uncomfortable for me.
At that time that you told your friend that, though, did you have anything in mind?
One, I knew that I was supposed to be writing a book on dating.
A third book?
Yes.
Damn. Okay.
I knew that. And I was running away from it. Okay. And so one thing that I'm also big is being obedient. So literally, and I think this is probably the first time I've shared this.
You haven't been obedient to nothing I've told you to do. What you talking about?
Not to you.
Oh, who you gotta be obedient to?
All right. God. All right.
What do you gotta be?
Not you, boo.
Oh, you talking about you need to be obedient? Who you gotta be obedient to?
To God. Okay.
Amen.
And so within that,
what God told you to do?
Write this book on dating.
Oh, well, then you better do it.
Right. So I was like, yeah, I tried writing this book.
Try it ain't not good enough when God tell you to do something. Okay, cool.
Thank you, baby. So I'm like, I really did try writing the book, but then I would come to like a writer's block. And that is not something I'm familiar with. Like both of my first books, my first 2 books, it flowed easily. So I always feel like if it's hard to do it, or if there's a block, it's not time for me to do it yet.
You don't have enough dating experience?
Oh no, I got that, boo. Okay, all right. So let's stay. Let's
next subject.
Let's stay on course.
Let's go.
But we're talking about the obedience and why I'm doing the podcast. So knowing that I was supposed to write this book, and I told God, I was like, yeah, why I gotta do all that? I'm already being obedient. And so literally, his response to me was, "It's not about you. It's not about like what you want to do or what you don't want to do. It's about the people that needs this information, the people that wants it and their journey. Like you could be the reason why someone else does not reach their purpose by not doing what you are called to do." And so when you put stuff like that, I'm like, come on, that's like, I can't be the one, you know? So anyways, for me, this was...
Now, that's deep. That, like, right there, I mean, just what you just said, that sounds like the definition of purpose. Like, you're always talking about purpose, and that really, to me, the way you just worded that, it kind of made me understand what purpose is. To not do something that you're called to do could affect somebody else who's relying on you to do that thing that you didn't do.
And it can be people that don't even know, like, literally doesn't even know me. Yeah. And so I've experienced that in doing other things and in receiving like feedback from them, like, you don't know how much you saying this impacted or helped or whatever. So I knew that when this idea was presented and we were talking about it and then the name was given, I knew that was purpose, and I knew that it was tied to...
And how you feel when you saw that logo though?
Man, listen.
Fire.
And the person that I'm doing it with, I definitely feel as if I probably wouldn't do it with anybody else, honestly. And that's simply because of like the creativity.
Oh, that's so sweet. You better give me that lip. Give me a damn cheek. Don't show out for the public now. What?
I'm just kidding.
I know you didn't put your face
kidding,
on me.
Y'all. Just
Whoa.
Just kidding. This is okay. We'll talk about that later too.
What?
We'll talk about that later. So I knew that there would be no other person that I would,
very sweet,
want to do this with, because not only that you're creative, but you said something before, like consistency and being like committed to doing it. And I really feel like that's you all day, because even if I'm not talking about it, if I'm not saying anything, like you have like an idea or something, and I think we work well together. So I don't like doing anything half-stepping, anything. And I feel like you feel the same way. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and you're going to be all in
100%
doing it. So what
if I'm passionate about it? If I'm passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
If I'm not passionate about it, I could care less. One thing I do want to address though is because you had mentioned that you had came up with the name. They're like, oh, the Computer Love song gonna go with it, right? It's the obvious choice. However, when you listen to this podcast, the intro music is not that Computer Love song, and that is because of copyright issues.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I was looking at the TV or the computer while I was talking about
it. Right.
But it's because of copyright issues. So yeah, we got this new intro music. It's not going to be the Computer Love. Sorry, we don't want to get our videos taken down. We wanted to actually be able to reach you, and if you use that song, it won't. So
absolutely,
that's the reason.
So hopefully the creators or something, they'll tune in.
Yeah, once we like blow up, once we like we're huge out here in these streets, then we might be able to talk to them and get some type of deal going on.
Right. So definitely. So we hope you're watching, or you will watch soon. We'll try to tag you in it, so you'll give us the rights to use it. It's for a good cause.
Zap. Are they even alive? I don't know who they are. Zap.
We'll find out.
Like, do they even sing anything other than that song? What else does Zap sing besides Computer Love?
We gotta do some research.
I ain't never heard of Zap before, but they got a dope ass song.
Right. We definitely have to find out. So what are we going to do on this podcast to involve like our viewers, our audience? Like, how can they be a part of our journey as well?
A lot of ways they can be part of our journey. I'll go over a few right now. One, comment We read all comments. We try to respond to all comments. Give us ideas. Critique. Let us know, what you didn't like, what we talked too much about, what we didn't hit enough on. And honestly, I don't really got to tell you to critique because you're going to critique anyways. So I'm ready for it to happen. But just know that when you do that, we're going to take it seriously. We will be profiling different couples, an idea that she had, different couples who have met online, because like I said, this will be a platform to show inspiration that things like this can work. Unless obviously we don't work, then we will show you that it doesn't work, and then all hope is lost. But what else did you have?
So you definitely brought up a really good point. So in reference to, like, if you have questions for us, we will have something called the chat room. And with the chat room, we'll start, each episode with, like, we may say, hey, all right, time to go to the chat room or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you can send your questions that you may have to computerlovepodcast@gmail.com, or you can send it to our Instagram message, and where you can follow us on IG @computerlovepodcast as well.
And if we don't get any good submissions, we're just gonna pick a question offline that we think is gonna be valuable to you guys.
Right.
So y'all send some good questions, or we're gonna answer some questions that nobody even asked us.
Absolutely.
But y'all gotta get the answer though.
So that's the chat room.
Chat room.
And then you also mentioned highlighting other couples. Mm-hmm. So that is going to be called the Computer Love Connections. I'm so excited about it.
You see, she coming up with, that's the first time I even heard of that. This is the social media manager right here. So that's her job, social media manager.
Right. So don't even try to slide, all right?
Computer.
This is mine. You may have had it once, but I got more of a time before me. Anyways.
Computer love what?
Computer Love Connections. Yeah.
That's dope.
So also email us if you have, and I'm so excited. Like, did you see like one of our first posts? I think I posted, and then just people have been like messaging us saying things about me and my husband met online, or me and my husband, like,
Bumble and
IG,
Facebook, and he slid in my DMs.
Twitter.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. Like, thank you all so much for sharing that. It makes a world of a difference, and it also makes me feel like that's purpose right there. Yeah. Like, seriously,
that's definitely motivational, and it gives you the drive to do this for sure.
Yeah. I'm excited. So we're not. So that's a few ways that you can definitely, be heard, be engaged. Let us know, questions that you may have in your online dating experience, or maybe you're thinking about online dating, or maybe somebody sent you a DM and you just have not responded because you're like, I don't know, cheaters or catfish, whatever. So we'll get into all of that, and then we'll also get into talking about how we met on our first episode. But I want to start with, like, before how we met, like, how did we get here? Like, just tell me, like, what was your first, like, your initial thought after our first date?
Initial thought after the first date. Do you want the honest answer, or do you want the made for the world answer?
Oh Lord, I don't know. Did I pray before we started this podcast?
That was kind of a facetious type question.
Right.
I'm gonna give you the honest answer regardless.
Absolutely.
Of what you want.
Absolutely.
What did I think when I first, after the date? Well, first when I saw you, I was like, okay, she looks like what she supposed to look like, or what her pictures look like. So that's a bonus. Mm-hmm. And then conversation was fluid. It was smooth. It was nothing uncomfortable. It was all laughs and smiles. The sushi wasn't that great, even though that's your favorite sushi spot, but I gotta turn you on to something.
Well, not that particular one. There's one inside Northwoods Mall.
Oh, is there?
The same company, yeah.
But after the date, I was like, man, I'm in there. I was like, bro, I got this. I was like, it's a done deal, It's it's a wrap.
Like, what do you mean it's a wrap? It's a done deal. Like, how? Like, what?
And I'm just being honest, all right? I'm not even trying to sound like cocky or anything like that, even though I know it comes off that way, but just honestly, I was like, the date went well. I was like, if I want this to happen, I can make this happen.
Okay.
That was my feelings. If I want this to happen, I can make this happen. And everything about that date was good vibes. But you got to understand that me and you come from two different worlds, right?
Right.
I've been in this online dating thing for a while.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
And you were brand new to it.
So yeah. So we'll definitely divulge more into that, to like you know the how we met.
Yeah. So I'm coming with a different. I always go into it not really knowing what to expect, but I know what I could expect or what I usually expect. And you were nothing like what I usually expect. So put it that way. Everything that you normally like. So this is how it goes. First date. This next step. Take it to the next step. Take it to the next step. No. Just throw all that shit out the window. That ain't how it goes down with you, with Chicquetta. Chicquetta ain't about them games. So I appreciated that. You have a lot of respect and value for yourself, and so do the people around you. It really amazes me just how many people love you.
Oh.
And I mean that. It's like, I don't know, other than a celebrity, people who just love you. It's like everyone calls you their sister or their auntie, or they want to just be involved with whatever you got going on in your life. And I was like, this girl's special, man. She really is. So I was like, it's something special going on here. That was my thoughts.
That was your thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
So
my thought was, it's in the bag. So
right. And so
I got this, yo.
For me, I was like, it was an awesome date. But I've had awesome dates. You know what I'm saying? So even though I'm not like, I wasn't big in the online world initially or whatever before, so we'll get into that. But it's never been hard for me to be asked out or to go in, like, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I need to, you know what I'm saying? So like after that first date, it was like, it was a really good first date. However, I've had really good first dates, and
I heard you the first time you said that. You had just said that like 2 seconds ago, and I think everybody got that part. Hey, she's had good first dates other than me. If y'all didn't catch that, all right, okay. You want to say it one more time?
So I've had really good first dates.
Okay, I think.
But for me, it's honestly like what happens after the first date, or what
What do you mean?
Like, how is the communication? Communication is very, important for me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, I enjoyed the first date. Like, we had good laughs. I thought, there was a good connection. But I am very, on first dates, I ain't really giving too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna...
Or second dates, or third dates, or fourth dates.
He's right, guys. He's absolutely right. But I felt good about it. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't I definitely didn't feel like you had me in the bag. I was still on
But I did. You didn't know I did, but I did.
Child boo. So
keep talking.
That's what he thinks, So here's the thing. I was like, the same thing. I felt the same. Like, I saw him, he matches what I saw, whatever. And I definitely thought that he was attractive.
Oh.
And I was like, he don't even know. He's bagged, okay?
I didn't know what?
You were bagged.
Oh, I was bagged? So you felt like you had me in the bag.
Got him.
So I didn't have you in the bag, but you had me in the bag. And you knew it.
Got him. So
Okay, I'm here for this. Let's go.
But anywho,
what made you think that?
It was just a little joke. But I did feel really good about the date in reference to
what did you like most about that date? You said you liked it, but you didn't tell me what you liked. I told you what I liked. You didn't tell me what you liked.
I think we had really good conversation. I think that it flowed easy.
Oh, yeah. But you've had all that before. We got it. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so after the first date, I still, I felt good about it. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I wasn't, I'm in or whatever. Because I felt like
you weren't sold.
No, because I felt like this is what he do. Honestly, like I was like, this is what he do.
What you mean? That's what I do.
I was like, okay, he probably got, he got it in rotation or whatever. So we'll just see where it goes. That's legit like how I was like, we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm good if we don't, but I hope we do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell.
Even if we don't what?
Like if we don't have a second date.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, it's just so much inconsistency and stuff. And that's going to go into like our next question, or my next question for you is like, what is your love language? And do you think that's important? And
so, do I think it's important? I'm not going to say that I think it's, okay, let me take this back. It is important.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, before the term love language came out, you just did what you had to do to figure out what your woman liked, and that's the love language. So basically all we really did was we just defined it.
Absolutely.
So whether you call it a love language or not, I definitely think it's important to speak to people the way that they hear.
Absolutely.
So yeah, my love language I haven't taken the test in a long time, so I don't know what it technically is, but I can tell you what I think it is, what makes me happy. And you actually taught me a love language that I didn't even know that I had. It was weird.
What's that?
Gifts, giving gifts.
Oh.
Like for me, I don't care about gifts. Like I buy gifts for people that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, as a man, that's what you do. But I don't really care about getting gifts in return. But just the little sweet things that you do for me is like, wow, this is actually means a lot.
What I do? What's the sweet thing that I do?
Like you do all kind of. Okay. Don't act like you don't know. Like not only does she do sweet things, but she tries to show me up with the sweet thing.
No.
Like I come home and there's like a note on the microwave talking about it's like poetry. Like you're the sunshine of my life and I would die if I never met you.
Whatever.
And then there was like another note on my door was like, oh, I can't wait till you come home. I want to just grab you and take you upstairs. It was like stuff like that. I was kind of freaked out a little bit about it.
Definitely
I was like, whoa, that's a little much, but
definitely
but for real though, she left notes for me, very sweet, poetic notes, multiple occasions. Even though I'm not the first person she's done that for.
Let's not talk about being a virgin. No.
But no, it's just little thoughtful things like that. It inspires me to want to do to reciprocate. So. But back to what my love languages are. Typically, what I say my love languages usually are, and always have been, are just quality time and physical touch. Gotcha. I think are my two love languages. Okay. Yeah.
So I think that you brought up a really good point when you said before this like term was coined to say love languages, the way you did it was by learning. You said you use your woman. So for me, I think that it's important for both. I think that it's important that you study your partner, like knowing like who I am now.
You're gonna tell me your love language eventually. You just gotta listen.
Come on. See, that's why I rock with you. That's why you my boo.
But that's facts.
And he does that. So he speaks to my love languages, okay? So anywho, I think
why am I drinking wine and you're not?
I am sipping. You can see I'm sipping.
Okay.
Relax. I'm sipping. It's I'm pacing it.
Go do your thing, boo.
So as I was stating in reference to like love languages, I definitely agree. I think that before it was coined, it was just studying your partner.
Right.
And I think that it's a two-way street. I don't think that you should just be, trying to do stuff or whatever to win me over, keep me, or whatever you want to call it. I think that that's an important foundation and is important in continuing to do after you've been dating for a while, whatever. It's just continuing to learn that person. We change over time. So things that you may have liked now, 5 years from now, you may not have any interest in that at all. But if I'm paying attention to you, the things that you like to do, whatever, I will know how to express my love for you based on what you like. Right? That was good, ain't it?
That was good.
That was really good.
I'm here for it.
My love language, my top two, which I recently learned that one of mine are words of affirmation.
Okay.
I never would have considered that to be like one of mine.
Did you find that through the test or just through?
Through the test. I took the test over.
Do you really trust that test?
I think that it's...
Do you need a test?
No, I don't think you need a test. But I do think that it's good every now and then to just kind of like look, because it gives you like a clear description of like how.
But what if it gives you something that you really don't resonate with?
You shouldn't believe it.
You just believe what you think.
Yeah. But I could see why it said that was one of mine.
Okay, why?
Because I like to, when I'm engaging with you, I don't need your approval, but I like to know that you're in with, like, you agree that we're in this together.
Facts. You love for me to agree. Dare I disagree? Gonna be problems. She don't like for me to disagree, y'all, so I never disagree. All right, so yes.
So there's gonna be problems?
Yeah, I don't want you to get mad.
He's faking, y'all.
Yo, no, like when I disagree with something, like with this podcast, like I'll come, like she'll say, "This is what we should do," and I'll be like, "No, we shouldn't do that. We should do this." We gonna do what she say. I mean, at the end of it, we gonna do what she say. So
that's not true.
I'm learning to not even like just offer like, "Oh yeah, babe, that's a good idea. Let's do that." Because that's what we gonna do anyway.
You give me your feedback, but I also present like
great ideas.
Thank you. I present the great ideas, but I also give you good foundation on why I believe. And so I think, so one thing you did today that, you said, you were like, you know what, I'm giving you. And I feel the same way about you. Like, you do everything when it's the logo, the design, like, I may give some suggestions, some feedback on it, but I fully trust you in that realm to say, like, he's going to lead us well. So I think that there should be balance in that, and I think that is what happens with us. That
absolutely, you got it. You got it.
He's faking, y'all. He's faking.
I'm handing over all the reins to you, babe. You got this.
And
I know you're going to steer us in the right direction, and I have total faith in you. I do.
Thank you.
You're a very accomplished woman, and I have full faith in you.
I appreciate you for saying that and for being in this with me. But so that's one of my love languages is words of affirmations, and then the other one is gifts. Like it really went into detail that not only receiving like thoughtful gifts, but giving. And that is totally like, I love giving like small, like just thoughtful things, just doing.
So you giving other people gifts is your love language. It's
mine. Me giving and receiving.
Oh, then I should have like gifts all over the place.
No.
Where my gifts at?
Let's not get it twisted.
What?
I'm talking about like that small note that was a gift. Or, just small things. For me, it's the thoughtfulness behind it that's really important for me. It doesn't have to be like, you can come with a Brahmin bag, and I'm like, oh, thank you, baby.
What a what?
Brahmin bag.
Never heard of it.
That's one of the bags that I carry all the time.
Brahmin?
Yeah, when we were inside Dillard, I think we were in Dillard or somewhere, and I was like,
never heard of that bag before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just, you can do whatever. I'm not trying to tell you how to do things or what to do, but
just give
whenever,
me a Brahmin bag. I ain't telling you what kind of bag to give me, but as long as it's a Brahmin bag, we good.
Whatever thoughtfulness behind it, and that is something that I feel like you do without even like with me not telling you or saying anything about it. Like you are just really thoughtful, and I appreciate that about you. It really like I'm a thug or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It be touching a thug all right here, like my heart be all soft and mushy or whatever.
Hey yo, this dog has been knocked out this whole time. She has not moved at all. For the people at home, we have my baby Rottweiler. She's 1 year old, and she's sitting here laying on the floor next to me. Knocked out. We haven't heard her breathe or fart or
nothing. She's literally just chilling. She had a good day today.
She did.
So what has been like the best date that we've been on so far for you? Like, what was our best date? What do we do?
Ooh, the best date that me and you have been on, and I'm saying this really slow so that I can actually try to
think about it. All right.
A date.
Want me to go first while you thinking? Or you
No,
already got it?
I got it.
Okay.
I think the best date for me was just cooking dinner, you eating it, you enjoying it, having wine, and then just like laying in bed watching snowfall. That's like
you know, that's my like you really turned me on to Snowfall.
Snowfall's dope, and
I've adopted Franklin as my nephew. I'm like, I gotta watch my nephew.
Franklin's a man. But yeah, no, I just like it's just normal, but and it's nothing extravagant, but the feeling of peace and contentment within that is everything. So that's probably my favorite dates so far.
Yeah.
Just my favorite dates and period.
Yeah. I think we've definitely had some like good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like going out places too. I've really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, so gosh, I got two favorites now.
Mm.
But my first one I was going to say was when we did like the date night in and we did the games. So like you came up with the game.
Oh yeah.
And I came up with the game. That was like I enjoyed that so much. Like because I have not played I haven't played like video games since Sega or whatever. Yeah. And so like, you know, you getting a game that we had to interact together, like we had to work together. I thought that was really dope. Yeah.
And we still gotta play it some more.
We definitely figured it out.
First level.
So that was really dope. And
what that was, for you guys understanding, it was a I don't know what the name of the game was, but it was like a cooking game where you have to use teamwork to like cook and serve food and something like that. But it was on the PlayStation, so it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. It's a teamwork type game.
Yeah, it was dope. Yeah. And then that was his idea. And so my idea was like we had to have like our own in-house like poetry night or whatever. And so we had to write. I had to write a poem for him. He had to write a poem for me, and then we had to like recite it to one another or perform or whatever. And so I thought that was like really, but we only had 15 minutes.
Yeah, we had 15 minutes to write the poem. we set the timer, and whenever the timer was done, poem is done, whether you're finished or not. Like you gotta go ahead and you gotta close it out the best way that you can. And so I thought that was dope, the way we like the things that we said, performing it, and then the way that like we closed it as well was like really dope for me. So that was like my number one. You cooking for me is just like, man, that trumps everything. But what did you like best that I cooked for you?
Oh man, you cook so many good stuff, like
shrimp and grits.
The shrimp and grits was really good, but you know what? That's the seaweed soup.
The seaweed soup
over the rice with like that fish in it. Yeah. I think you should do that again, like tomorrow or something. So that, and then man,
there's a Korean soup, y'all. For all of my Koreans out there, myeokguk is what I made for her. Myeokguk.
It was so good. So, and then the last day that I want to mention, I don't want to give them everything because I'm sure we'll have like a podcast episode just on like, you know, giving ideas or receiving ideas or whatever. But the drive-in movie, like we just did that one last weekend, and that was like,
that was cool.
Man, I was so excited about that. It's something that I've like been wanting to do or whatever, and so just to go like pick up snacks for. Then it was like raining, so it was like,
but it was still like warm outside.
Yeah, it was dope. So like put the seat back and just really enjoy each other's presence. And it was a movie from the 90s.
We had them windows steaming. Them windows was fogged up. It was like getting hot and heavy and stuff in there. Like I don't even remember the movie, to be quite honest with you. Like we was just so into each other. That's that. In my head, that's how it went. In my head, that's the way that date went. But really, we was just eating like Crunch and Munch and watching the movie. But in my head, that's like how it was.
Yeah, no, we definitely ate some Crunch and Munch. We had wine, we had cheese, we had the crackers, we had watermelon sour patch. Like, yeah, it was definitely PG-13. Y'all don't get it twisted.
No, that was PG.
No 13, just
no
PG.
13. I was straight PG.
You are hilarious to me. But yeah, I definitely look forward to like date nights, like with you, and it sometimes it doesn't even have to be like, you know, planned, but I just think you're really dope at, because that was your idea. Like, you know, we talked about a movie or something. He was like, hey, want to do this drive-in? Well, I'm like, what? There. Say less. Let's definitely do this.
Yeah.
So that was really good for me. And then that's a part of the reason why I want to do this podcast. Like,
why?
Just like you in general, because you know you was ready to start like day 4.
Right.
And I was like, you know, let's give it, you know, a couple weeks, or let's give it some time.
Because in my vision was that the earlier the better, because you're documenting
absolutely
it, right?
Yeah.
But
and for me, you know, your girl had reservations, because I want to know, like, I am a very
private person when it comes to certain things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I'm very careful with, even though maybe I didn't have reservations with you, but the fact that bringing something like this online for the world to see, like, I definitely think we'll have genuine supporters. I definitely think we'll have people that's like, yo, I don't even know them, but I'm rooting for them. I'm rocking with them. I'm ready. But then you also have people that's like lurking and that's really trying to figure out, like, well, like, she a little slim last thing. I want.
She a little what?
She a little slim thick. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to see, like, it's how together are y'all, or whatever, or vice versa. Like, you know, literally, you have some people that's just kind of like, shoot, he a little blazing. He over there looking whatever. Let me see. I told y'all one time. He good. If y'all see him somewhere glowing and smiling and stuff, it's me says. So, anywho, I know that everybody doesn't always have your best interest. And although we're not doing it for anybody, I am a person that I would rather we be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? We be good, we grow, whoever in our circle, whoever in our space, they get to witness it. If we write this book, then we write this book together. Let's keep our, like, let's protect. For me, it's a certain level of protection. It's not that I'm always private, but I am a person that believes in protecting my peace, protecting my, like, and that's anybody, like, and, like, you know what I'm saying, connected to me.
Peace is everything.
It's everything.
Peace is, like, this wouldn't even be worth it without peace. You know, like, I know well, let me not say I know, but I strongly feel like comments and stuff like haters just won't affect me. You know, it just really won't. I'm beyond that.
Yeah, and I think that that's a difference between us, because I am my heart is like you know, and that's with anybody, my friends, my family, like, I wear my heart, like, on my sleeve. So don't get it twisted now. My skin is tough. However, it's almost like, do I even want to, you know what I'm saying, like, put that. But I feel like, for me, the only reason why I am doing this with you is because I feel like you're a fighter. And I feel like you are, like, you're not a flighter. You just don't, like, you know, all right, one we doing this, month 2, like, I gotta change the heart. Change my mind. And then I just think that you are, or you have proven yourself to be thus far. People change. Hopefully you won't. Yeah, they do. But just forthcoming, like honest, sharing stuff. And I think that in doing something like this, like, our communication has to be, like, it has to be on point. And I think
that's the crazy thing, is that, like, I'm not even a big communicator. I'm not. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not this huge communicator. I don't like talking on the phone. And you got me FaceTiming like 5 times a day and just always on the phone. It's like,
But so, do you want to do that, or do?
I'm not gonna say. There are times when I do want to do that, but at the minimum, it doesn't bother me like it normally does.
Yeah.
Like I don't look at the phone like, ugh, I don't feel like answering. Oh, I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
I don't do that when you call me. Which is rare because I'm not a phone person at all.
But you're definitely like see, like for you, like, so you'll text me throughout the day, like, hey, think about you or whatever. And for me, I'm just like, let me just call. Like, I just want
I mean, there are times I'm like, God damn, so she calling me again? Like, yo, we just talked 2 minutes ago. And
if I do, it's because I have to tell you something or show you something that it's better to just go ahead and do it.
She just missed me. She wanted to see my face.
Y'all, first of all, he's trying to sound like it's all me.
She just be missing me and stuff.
Y'all, one day has not passed where this man is like, I'm gonna see you. When I'm gonna see you. It's not even if I'm gonna see you. It's what time now. It's now to more like, what time am I gonna see you? Or whatever. So don't act like, I might call, but don't act like you won't be trying to see the kid.
I always try to see the kid, you know.
Because, I mean, week 1, you like, I don't ever want to not see you. Do you recall?
I recall. The sentiment remains.
Oh. I appreciate you. Come on, you can leave it now. I knew you was going to do that. Just trying to get me back. Yeah, guys, I honest to God, I'm really excited about.
Indeed. And this is not the first episode. This is just the introduction. This is just giving you guys the groundwork of what's to come, letting you know a little bit about why we're doing this, a little bit about the podcast, what to expect, a little bit of background on our meeting and all that type of stuff. But we don't even really consider this the first podcast. First episode will be coming out April 8th, and that will go over how we met. Right?
Absolutely.
How we met.
Oh, yeah.
How we met. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of juicy details in that one. So, that should answer a lot of people's questions that have been coming in, like what site and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I don't hold my tongue very well, so you could probably get a lot of good details out of there. And if you haven't noticed yet, it's a really good, I think it's good. You might not think it's good, but regardless of what you think, it's there's a difference in while a lot of things we have are the same, there's differences in the way that we view the world. She comes from a great background. She comes from a wholesome family with
we'll get all
two parents.
We're not even talking that yet. That's coming up.
I know, but I'm just saying I come from a different background, but even still, we're able to have similarities and make it work. I don't even know where I was going with that because you cut me off and I kind of lost my train of thought. So I was trying to recover.
I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to get I'm like, hey, we won't talk about that.
I was trying to recover and say something like profound, but I don't know how that just came out, but we're just gonna let that roll.
I apologize. I just tried to make sure that because we have so much to share with y'all. We have so much to give.
And she be censoring me. She always censor me. Like, you be cutting me off and you're like, don't say that and don't say. I'm just joking.
Right, he's joking. I'm definitely not saying don't say those things. And if I do, I'm like, hey, it's like a movie. Like, you gotta climax them. You don't tell the end of the story.
I'm like Joe Biden and she's like Kamala Harris. Like, I be having all kind of gaps and be saying the wrong shit, be forgetting what I say and all kind of shit. And she has to keep me in line.
So that's why we're a good team. That's why we work so well together. I'm excited about it. I think that, it's going to be awesome. It ain't no pulling out. Because listen, if I'm on this screen, I gave you time.
Hey, that's going to be a t-shirt. Ain't no pulling out. That's going to be a t-shirt. Ain't no pulling out.
Listen, I gave you time. You sure this is what you want to do, okay? Because for me, I know this is a big step for you, but it is legit. Anybody that personally knows me, this is probably the biggest step that I've made in my life as it relates to relationships and just I said, because of that privacy, that protection, and then just otherwise. So it is a big step, but I would not take,
Well, I
wouldn't take this step.
I feel honored and privileged to be the person you decided to do this with. Actually, let me speak up a little bit because I don't even know if you caught that. But no, I feel honored and privileged to be the person that you decided to do this with. So thank you much, love.
I'm ready. We one foot in front of the other.
Ready. All right.
Even if it drags.
So how are we gonna close this out? Are we done? You got more questions or what?
Well,
it's been
so
about almost an hour. So what's up?
so we're gonna close out, and let's close out like by saying, what is something that you want to tell me right now off the dome that, like, what can I expect from you?
What can you expect from me?
Doing this together.
What can you expect from me in doing this podcast together or in our relationship together?
Our relationship, because I don't really like. I'm here for the people.
All right. What you can expect is more of what you've already gotten. You can expect probably some arguments in the future. You can expect some disagreements. You can expect some frustration. But you can also expect a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of care, a lot of commitment, and a lot of respect.
No. Well,
I think you can expect what you would expect in a normal relationship, the ups and the downs. I think that we'll have it all. It's just a matter of how we get through it. What can I expect from you?
What can you expect from me? You can expect everything that you just said.
No, you don't get off that. No, that's not how this works.
You can definitely.
I need a real answer.
No, for sure though. You can definitely expect someone that is loyal. You can expect someone that is honest. Somebody that's going to be in it with you. I'm not a big person that I don't like to argue. Mm-hmm. I do like to communicate.
Yeah, we don't argue. She wins, I lose. That's the end of that.
But I don't even really think that we've ever like had anything that was like.
No, not really.
You know what I'm saying? I think for the biggest thing for us has been this podcast and like, you know, our thoughts on it, our ideas, and coming to a common ground.
There was no common ground, and we came to what you wanted, and I'm okay with that.
As long as you're okay with it. You know, I'm okay with some things that you decided as well. Mm-hmm. But
excuse me, I'm like got gas from all this down.
But yeah, so I think that those are things that you can expect. You can expect somebody that's in it with you. I'm not.
Well, that's all I want. Loyalty and to be in it with me.
That's it.
And no pulling out.
Right, that's what we said. So guys, you have the information, computerlovepodcast@gmail.com if you want to be featured, a part of the Computer Love Connections, or if you want to send in your questions, it's computerlovepodcast@gmail.com. Or you can also
just post it to the Instagram site.
Post it to the Instagram site or send it to our DM because everybody is not like open with their questions.
Yeah.
So definitely go follow us. We have so much to give. We cannot wait for you all to join us on this journey, and we will see y'all soon.
Holla.